Well, Paul, thanks very much for speaking to us, and congratulations, a third World Championship final coming up this year. Just how special is that for you?
Oh, very special. Yeah, I mean, I'd heard a couple of rumours about it a few weeks ago. I hadn't really thought, who was going to do this year's. I did say when I got the second one, it was nice to get out of a group of very, very good referees who'd only done one World Final. So to do two was good, but to now be in a rather more exclusive club of three is, it's brilliant.
It's been a difficult year for everyone across the world, and in terms of just this very specific snooker world, you've been right at the coal face of it, doing your refereeing and also as a tournament director. So I guess it would be quite an emotional way to round it off, stepping out at the Crucible in the biggest match in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. And I've had, I suppose a good year is the wrong thing to say, but I mean, we've not lost a lot of work, luckily, from a snooker point of view. We've managed to keep playing. Thanks to all the work that's gone in behind the scenes. And I've probably done more refereeing this year than I've done, the last 2 or 3 years put together. So I feel I'm ready for a World Championship final because we've put all the groundwork in. So it's come at a good time. It's nice.
What's it like as a referee waiting in the wings to come out of the Crucible? It's one of the few venues where the referees get introduced. So what's it like as you're stood backstage, especially before a world final? Yeah,
it's amazing. It's what everybody wants. I mean, they probably of all the referees who referee at professional level, and get to do big tournaments, I don't know, maybe 5% will ever get a world final. So, to be doing my third, and I still get the bug. I've often said that if I didn't get a little bit nervous backstage, it'd probably be time to call it a day. Because if it doesn't get you that way, then you're not going to be fired up and you might not be in the right frame of mind. So, yeah, it's good. And we haven't had intros this season, the referees, for anything really, because there's been no crowds. So we tend to just slip on quietly behind the players. So hopefully there'll be a few in at the Crucible, and it'd be nice to have a proper intro again.
We've had some very sad news recently. Welsh snooker legend Doug Mountjoy passed away. I know you were close with Doug, and you were at his funeral. Will you be sort of thinking of him when you step out there?
Yeah, definitely, because the last time I saw Doug was actually at the Crucible. So that's quite poignant as well. I had a chat with him there when he was up with Mark Williams. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to have some good times for Welsh snooker. I mean, it's great that we're at Celtic Manor for these events. Snooker's back in Wales being played. A Welshman back out in a final again, maybe a Welsh player, who knows? And yeah, it'd be nice to remember Doug.
And yeah, just wanted to look back at your other two finals. 2004 was your first one, and at the time, of course, you were the youngest referee ever to do it.
Yes, only lost that record last year. I've nearly forgiven Marcel. Time's a healer. But yeah, it'll be good to get there. I mean, I've just turned 50, so to still be refereeing at the top after all these years. It's the end of my 29th season. It's quite a nice way to finish it, hopefully going into my 30th.
And what was it like doing your first one? It must have been quite, the nerves, I suppose, must have been the highest you've ever been before a match, really.
Yeah, definitely, very nervous. It was very different, the system then, because I knew back in the October that I was doing the final provisionally, as they always are provisional, but I knew that I was doing it, so I had a long time for it to sink in. I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing, because, you have a lot of time. I suppose there was doubts in my mind then, because I was still a very young referee. I think I can handle most situations now. Most things that can happen I have encountered at some point. So I'm just looking forward to it. It'd be nice to get out there.
And your most recent one came in 2016, Mark Selby against Ding Junhui in the final. That must have been quite a special one to do, because I suppose that's probably one of the most watched snooker matches ever. There are millions and millions of people across China watching Ding. So it must have been an amazing game to be involved in.
It was a great match. I mean, the first evening session, the second session of the final, apparently was a very late one. At the time, I didn't realise. But that's how focused you get on the match. You don't really look at frame times. You're always expecting in a match with players like that you'll get a couple of frames that are very strategic, and they might take a bit longer. But yeah, it was a very long session. But I say didn't really notice it, but a great match, great game.
And finally, give us an idea of what it's like refereeing at the Crucible, especially the journey from the two-table setup where it's all very cramped and you've got to kind of be quite strategic where you position yourself, and then moving towards the final where it all opens out and you've got all the space in the world. Yeah,
it's such a relief because it's very easy to get caught at the camera end at the Crucible because you can't really walk up the sides when the players are there. And you probably, if you're going to stand in an ideal position, the Crucible is the place where you're out of position more than any other venue. Because you can't always read the shots in advance. Players know a lot more than we do about the game. We've got the basics, but if you're not sort of preempting where they're going to be and you can't get the right side of them, well, there's not a lot you can do. So when it does go down to one table, I mean, that is it's the ultimate venue. You've got a lot of room. You've already spent 12, 13 days, whatever it is, maybe out of position a little bit, you've got no excuses now. You've got to be in the right place, and you've got to soak it up.
And very few people will know what this is like, but as a referee who's done a world final, you will. What's the atmosphere like on that arena floor at that final night?
Unbelievable. It is such an atmosphere. I mean, I still, even after all the things I've done now, I still get such a buzz. The last session probably more than the other sessions, because the walk-ins change. You know, the players come down through the stairs. I think they use that Adamski killer, don't they? They use that track, and once that beat starts, you know, that hairs on the back of your neck are really up then, and you know you're right in the thick of it.
Well, good luck, Paul, and we hope you enjoy it.
Cheers.